What's up guys, it's Carter. I'm back with another video. Today I wanted to bring you guys a review of this Westside Barbell Scout Reverse Hyper. I've had this thing for about 2 years now, and it's been instrumental in my low back recovery after I heard it. I'm gonna go over a lot of things about it, pretty much everything there is to know about this thing, but I also wanna let you know I've decided to sell it, but why that's not necessarily a bad thing and why I think it's a good fit for a lot of people's home gyms. So stick around. All right, now before we get into the specifics of this actual unit, I want to kind of go over what a reverse hyper is for those that are unfamiliar. So reverse hyper is a machine that works glutes, hamstrings, low back, the erectors. Also, all reverse hypers have some kind of pendulum and pad on the top for you to rest your torso on. The reason it's called a reverse hyper is because it's the reverse of a hyperextension. Whereas in hyperextension, your lower body is stationary and your torso is moving. This is the opposite of that, where your torso is stationary and your legs are moving back and forth. Now, the benefits of it is it puts your spine in traction, decompresses the spine. After you squat or deadlift really heavy, it's a great recovery tool, great warm-up tool. I had hurt my back about 2 years ago and wasn't able to deadlift or squat or anything. It was terrible. I went ahead and bought this thing and kind of built back my muscles and my low back, and it's been a great tool. I started with, I think, maybe 35, 45 pounds on here. And as you can see, I'm up to 645s on here, which is 270. That's over what they recommend loading on here, but I'll get to that later. Let's go ahead and get into the basic construction of this. You got your pad on the top. It's a pretty comfortable pad. It's got some decent vinyl on here. You have some handles here in the back to grab onto, and you have the, of course, the pendulum. You have this right here to loop your feet into. You have a little step to step up and get on there if you need it. But I think the best thing about this model specifically is that it can fold away and you can store it, wherever you want. Whereas most reverse hypers are pretty big and take up a pretty good chunk of space. So that is one of the main reasons I think it's great for a home gym. Another reason is because if you're not really familiar with the reverse hyper, you want to try it out, don't want to spend a ton of money on something that big, it's a great starter piece because this thing is just a little under $400 on the Rogue website. I think $395. So you're not taking too much of a chance there, whereas like Rogue's reverse hyper can come up to like $1,200. So it's one of the cheaper options, one of the most portable options, or definitely the most portable option. If you don't like it, you can always sell it. I see them on Facebook Marketplace all the time. And also, you can, if you outgrow it, like I have, and the reason why I'm actually selling it now, but you can just go ahead and upgrade. But then you like the exercise and you want to continue to use a reverse hyper in your training. So we'll get into the specifics of this. It's a 300-pound user capacity. They only recommend that you load up 176 pounds on this. Now, as you can see, I have 270 loaded up on here, and it hasn't been an issue for me, but I do my reverse hypers very controlled. So I'm resisting the weight as it's swinging back down. I don't swing wildly with this. If you swung wildly with this much weight on here, this thing is going to rock back and forth, tip over, collapse. I don't know what would happen, but I would say if you're going to load that much weight on here, which I don't recommend because they don't recommend it, but if you control the weight, you really shouldn't have a problem. I never fold this thing away. I kind of just leave it loaded up and ready to go. But you have that option to fold it up and store it away if you'd like to. This unit is about 100 pounds, I think about 95 pounds when it's not loaded. So it is pretty easy to move around if you need to. All right, so I want to give you guys a closer look at some of the features and the construction of this thing. I didn't mention It does come with some spring collars, and you can see I'm like right at the end of this with 3 plates loaded on. It's a little less than 6 inches of loadable space. There's that step up. It's got some rubber on it. All the feet have rubber on them, so it doesn't, move as much. Here's a closer look at this foot strap. It's a high quality, very durable material. If you look up under here, you can see where the pendulum is connected to this bar that runs across, and it looks like there's some bushings or something in there. Moves very smooth, no squeaking, no kind of resistance with that, so it does swing pretty freely. So you got this pull pin here. You just pop it out, and that will engage the feature to fold it up. Just kind of wanted to show you guys the construction on here, so you can see this kind of slide all the way over here. That's when you fold it up. These legs will slide along there, and it'll fold up straight. And it only takes up maybe about a foot of space off the wall, and but it does get a little bit taller. So here are the handles. These are actually extra handles that cost about $18. You can add them to your purchase. I bought them because my wife is only 5 feet tall, so she's on the shorter side. Thought she might, if she does use this, she might have to grab the shorter handle. I'm 5'11". I use these handles and have never actually used those. It does have like a, pretty basic, just flat black powder coat. You see that these legs fit together here. Still got the stickers on there from assembly. And it's got a crossbar for stability. Here's a closer look at the vinyl pad. Like I said, I've been using this for a couple years. It's still retained its form for the most part. I use this thing as a table all the time. I think people sometimes mention that as like a bad thing. I guess if you're not using it for reverse hypers and just a table, that's a bad thing. But this is kind of like my home base when I'm in my workouts. I have my phone over here. I got my little log book, my water, whatever. So between sets, I'm always coming over here, logging my workouts, getting some water or whatever. So that's another big plus for a home gym. All right, guys. So in conclusion of this review, who would I recommend this piece for? I would recommend it for anybody with a small space that wants to be able to fold this thing away when not in use. I'd recommend it for someone looking to just try out the reverse hyper exercise, not sure if it's for them. People who aren't that strong yet. If you're repping 400 or 500 pounds on deadlift, this probably isn't the piece for you, because you probably need something a little beefier, because if you haven't already outgrown it, you're going to very quickly. So wouldn't recommend it for those people. And if you have a lot of space in your home gym, I probably wouldn't recommend it for those people either. You could probably take up just a little more space with a more sturdy unit without the possibility of needing to upgrade later. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the video. I appreciate you watching. Do you guys use reverse hypers in your training? Have you used the Scout reverse hyper? Let me know in the comments. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next one.